Did you know that when you buy life insurance, you don't have to insure your life? My name is Carmen.
And I'm Darius. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how and under what circumstances you would buy a policy on someone else. But before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post new videos.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and jump into this topic, because we can all, talk about the ins and outs of insurance. But the thing that we wanted to start with, we wanted to start first and foremost with banks and corporations and how they insure individuals when it comes to life insurance, because I think a lot of the times as consumers, we just assume if we're denied or if we can't get insurance for whatever reason, then that's the end of the road for us. And that's not always the case. Right.
Well, when it comes to like businesses and corporations, what you have to understand is they have insurable interest in this individual. The board of directors, if something was to happen to this individual, the company will be at a financial hardship, or they need to find a replacement for this individual. So in the meantime, what they have to do is they have to have the funds to be able to do that, to support themselves or support the company until that happens. So banks or corporations or Fortune 500 companies, this is their end to buy insurance policies on the individual or executives. Now, what happens is, because these policies are so big, they can also pay bonuses because they do own the policy. And as this person transitions out of the company, they can take their policy with them with that contract. So this is how they're able to do it. That's the same thing that happens to us on the individual level that we should really take in consideration is, what about if we have a business amongst two people who aren't family? If something was to happen to your business partner, you're going to be at a financial hardship. If something was to happen to you, your partner would be at a financial hardship. So the same way banks and corporations operate, where they have to figure out a way to replace you, in the meantime they have to have the income to support that, they have insurable interests. And I think that the biggest summary that I got from this, Darius, so like Darius said, insurable interest, we need to put that on the screen so you know what that is. That's the key thing, is if you were to get insurance on someone else, meaning you own a policy, you're the policy holder, you insure, the insured is someone other than yourself, and then you would be the beneficiary. So for example, if I own a policy on Darius, I'm the owner, he is the insured, and I would be the beneficiary. So if something were to happen to Darius, the death benefit proceeds would be paid out to me. So the idea behind this, like you were saying, if corporations and banks are doing this, then we should take stock from their actions and think about how we are using life insurance in our own households, because they very much look at it from a business play. Like Darius said, this is insurable interest. If I own a corporation and I'm insuring Susie, and Susie leaves or Susie passes, God forbid, I am at a financial hardship, because now I have to figure out how to replace the productivity and the income that Susie was bringing into the business. That's the exact same lens that we need to take when we think about our own family. But a lot of times we let emotion run our financial decisions instead of looking at our own family as a business, right? So if Darius and Carmen looking at us as a business, not Wealth Nation, but like our household, if something were to happen to Darius, our family would be at a financial hardship and we would have to figure out how to replace his income, vice versa. So it would absolutely make sense for husband and wives to get insurance policies on each other, in addition to me just insuring myself and Darius just insuring himself. It would make sense for us to get policies on each other. It would make sense for us to get policies on our children, because God forbid something were to happen to us, they have policies in their names where they could use the cash value should they need to, and then their heirs, if something happens to our children, the money can be passed on. So you get where we're going here. So the idea behind insurable interest is looking at your family and going, okay, who would be at financial hardship should something happen to me? And if that's the case, you need to rattle off everybody that would be the case, and now start figuring out a plan to get some sort of life insurance in place to ensure that the whole family is covered financially. Yeah, 2 points I want to make is the banks and companies, they hold up a mirror as to how we should operate as individuals. But that mirror we can't see because our eyes are closed to what they're actually showing us. They show us exactly what we have to do. That's how we got to the part of the concept of banking, infinite banking. It's because banks hold up a really good mirror of how we should operate with our funds.
Totally.
The only difference is they're using this and we're not they're kind of using it against us. They're using what we don't know against us, I would say.
You think so?
I think so, because if more people were aware of the profit that banks make from us, more people would take on the responsibility of owning their own bank.
I see what you're saying. I don't know if I necessarily feel like they're using it against us. I think it's because we're so ignorant as consumers that it's our fault that we don't know that information. Because like you said, it's out there.
Yeah. Well, then what's the difference?
And I go back to the ignorance piece of it.
There's no difference. No, it can be either way. Okay. Yeah, either way is fine. But in the
let us know in the comments what you think. I'm just curious.
Are you looking for a life insurance policy specifically designed to help you accomplish your financial goals?
And if you have a policy, or if you're looking for more education, would you like to be a part of a community with like-minded individuals who are all using life insurance to accomplish their financial goals? If so, click on the link below. We would love for you to join the Wealth Nation Money School.
The only thing I'm saying is
it's a good topic.
They have the money and we don't.
Yeah.
But we're the one that's facilitating the money that they have because we're not taking responsibility.
100%. Yeah.
In any event, we kind of got off topic about having insurable interest, but that was just on my heart at the time. And it's really important for us to make sure that even the people that we do have policies on, we don't just buy a policy on them just to buy a policy on them. We actually bring them into the system so that you can operate the system together.
And I hope you all understand what Darius is saying. Like, we're just not willy-nilly buying policies on people. You do want to be strategic in this approach. And the idea is you want to bring people into the conversation. Hey, Darius, I would like to buy a life insurance policy on you. Here's XYZ, and here's how you're going to help me maintain said policy. Because if something were to happen to me as the policy owner, the policy automatically passes to you because you're the insured. So we need to understand and be in business together on how we're going to operate this policy, how we're going to use the cash, how we're going to use it to build wealth. We come together and do this. And this is how you can make a bigger play when you involve your whole family in understanding how to do this. Because what we're just talking about is the strategic approach from businesses. What we haven't talked about is if you are denied, life insurance coverage, sometimes you have no choice but to insure someone else. Grandparents a lot of times insure their children or their grandchildren because the grandparents have no choice because of their age or whatever the case may be. So it's important for you as a consumer to know that you have options if you are not insurable. You should never get a denial and just walk away going, oh, I couldn't qualify, because there is someone in your life that you could be financially responsible for and be able to prove it. That's the other thing. You have to prove this information, where essentially your agent has to write a letter to the insurance company explaining why I would be insuring Darius, for example. So all of this information is out there. We see it happen, but for whatever reason, we look at these corporations and we go, can you believe they got life insurance on me? Yeah, I can, because I need to replace you if something happened, and that's going to cost a little bit of ching-ching. So yes, I totally, ching-ching. We need the sound effect. Ching-ching. We need to look at these opportunities, like I said, as a business play. We can't put emotion in it, because if we put emotion in it, that's where our financials go astray, because we're leading with emotion as opposed to strategy. Right.
And this whole thing with insurable interest, what it does is it takes out your ability to get a policy on Joe Smo, somebody that you don't know. You see him on the side of the street or in the world, and you want to get a policy on it because that it takes out that. But the strategy behind it is, you have insurable interest on someone. Yes, you get a policy on that individual, but you still have to be strategic as to what your plans are, not just for your future, but the future of that individual and everybody that they touch. Because I know for Carmen and I, we have a policy on our daughter, but if something was to happen to us, she will get her policy, not the death benefit.
Correct.
She gets our death benefit.
Yeah.
Now,
if something happens
to us, she gets her policy and our death benefit. What that does for her is whatever money that she has outstanding in her policy, it backfills, and she can buy more policies on her children. That's how it works. It moves over to the next generation. Whatever debts that we have, it pays it off. Whatever investments that we have, it now moves to her. There's a strategy behind this to grow the money intentionally. Grow money intentionally.
Intentional wealth building. I'm so glad that you went through that, because it's more than just getting insurance on other people, right?
Yeah.
It's the process, exactly what you were talking about, because that's how true wealth is transferred from generations. When you think about life insurance, like Darius said, if something were to happen to us, our daughter gets our death benefit, she's aware of the system. She knows what's going on, right? We didn't just give her life insurance blindly and then she gets this thing and goes, what do I do with it? Yeah. She understands. She will understand. She's 3, putting a lot of pressure on her, but she will understand.
We have plenty of time. She'll be brainwashed before you know it.
She will understand the ins and outs of what needs to happen with the policies, with the family trust and everything, because of the strategic play we have in which we're insuring our family. So I hope that makes sense what Darius was talking about, because again, it's just so much bigger than a life insurance policy.
Yeah. I can imagine when she gets older. Somebody told me they saw you at Wells Fargo. So you stepping outside of the family bank?
It's like, where are you going with this? What was you doing at Wells Fargo? Don't let me catch you in Chase Bank. That's funny.
So in any event, we want to make sure that
I wish you would.
Not only do you have insurable interest, but you have a strategy behind why you want to get insurance on another individual, why you want to get insurance on a business partner, because there has to be a strategy there, and everybody has to be involved in the growth of this money, because you might have some money and it's going to go back to the person that has a better plan than you do. Absolutely. If something was to happen. So make sure you have a good sound plan and strategy, and make sure you work with our team to make sure that's a sound strategy for your family and for the next 100 years. Do you want more information on how life insurance works? Well, check out our next video where we explain as insurance agents the ins and outs of life insurance. Remember to own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.